Hey, it's Joe from Explorers Inc. and today I'm going to be doing a 6-month review of the Tepui Ayer 2 rooftop tent. I've driven almost 20,000 miles with this on top of my car for the last 6 months, and I just wanted to go over the durability. In case you're still wondering about how durable these things are, I can show you what it looks like after about 6 months of use and what you can expect in terms of durability. So before we get to the tent, let's start with arguably the most important part of a rooftop tent is the cover under which the tent sits. Other than being a little bit faded after being on the car for about 6 months, it's in pretty good shape. Only thing I'd like to point out is after taking it on and off several times over the last 6 months, this is the portion of the cover that slides into the groove. It's a little bit frayed on that end. This end's in pretty good shape. Moving on to another important piece is the ladder. After 6 months of going up and down this thing just about every day for about 2 months there, ladder's still held in place really well, still 100% functional. Just a tip is the bolts that connect it, they can get a little loose over time. Just from this thing flipping up and down so much, so just keep an eye on that and make sure that the bolt and the nut stay nice and tight. Moving to the base of the tent, everything is still in working order. There's a couple of really superficial dents right here. I'm not sure what that's from, and then these two marks here are just from the ladder getting dirty, because when the ladder folds up, the very bottom of it is gonna land right here when it's all nice and secured, so it'll get a little dirty underneath, but no dents or dings other than these two tiny ones right here underneath the entire underside of the tent. So still in really good shape. The frame is not bent or anything at all. As for the rest of the outside of the tent, I haven't had any rips or anything. On the actual body of the tent, rainfly is still in good shape. We can see the outside a little bit. All the clips, all these little hooks and buttons and everything are still in good shape. Only casualty, as I covered in my last video, is just this little bit of a rip on the material that covers the gap here in the hinge, and that's just from user error from being pinched there when I have taken the tent out and unfolded it. So one more thing before we go inside the tent is looking around the outside at all of the various hooks and buttons and clips and clamps and straps. Everything after 6 months still working like it's brand new, nothing's broken in that category. That's really important because there's a lot of just little attachment points that could break with wind or rain or whatever, but they've held up to the elements pretty good, so I'm happy to report that after 6 months. So now we are inside of the tent, and I'm happy to report everything is still functioning basically brand new. The mattress is still nice and cushy and clean after 6 months of pretty heavy use. Only problem with the mattress that I've seen is just down the middle here. This is right where the mattress folds in half. It's got a little bit of a groove here. It's not uncomfortable to lie down in, but you can see it starting to sag a little in the middle. If you stretch it out, it'll probably be okay. Other suggestion I have is to just use a fitted sheet. I used a fitted sheet from a full-size bed to cover the mattress whenever I was using it, and that's why it looks so clean still. Tepui also sells a sheet set for all of their tents, I believe, but they're a little pricey, so I went with the cheaper alternative. I have one useful suggestion for the interior, and that is to get yourself a little battery-operated string light. This runs on AA batteries. I picked it up at Walmart for $5. It's got an on and off switch, and that's it. And what I did is I routed the string lights. I'll turn them on and off real quick so you can see. I just routed them back and forth along the main support here at the top, and I just leave these lights in all the time. I fold the tent up with it, and they work really well. They're not super bright, but it's enough so you can see a little bit better at night if you need to get up in the middle of the night for any reason. As far as durability, this thing has gone 20,000 miles and it's been on top of the roof for about 6 months. I just had a guy drive up and ask me about it, about the wind resistance and everything, and it'll knock a mile or two off per gallon, especially if it's heavy wind. But as far as the mounting hardware and everything, if I can get in on the roof rack a little bit here, it's got 4 attachment points, each one with 2 bolts, and this bracket right here that goes underneath your rack, the crossbars. It hasn't budged, so you got to get it on pretty tight and secure it. But you can see I put a little magic marker line right where that bolt was supposed to be 6 months ago, and it's still right on the line. So as far as securing it to the roof rack, it hasn't budged at all, and it's very, very durable. So that's about everything I can think of in terms of durability and heavy use over the last 6 months. Hopefully this will inspire you to get one on top of your car as well. Like I said, I would definitely recommend checking one out from Tepui. It's worked out great, and I'm going to take it off for the winter and store it and use it again next season.
The only thing I failed to mention in the video review were the awning poles, which I gave an A for functionality and an A- for durability. These are the 8 poles that hold up the awnings and the rainfly, as you can see in the video I'm about to set up right now. They got a little bit bent after 6 months of use at the points where they enter the frame of the tent, but that's to be expected as they're under tension when the rainfly and the awnings are out.